Hey guys, today I want to talk about some bugs in Skirmish that I think really need to be addressed. While it appears that the developers have completely abandoned Skirmish at the moment, for the record's sake, I'm going to make this video discussing a few of the most frustrating bugs. Dennis Braunville stated when the Death Star DLC was released back in September that they were going to address a future patch for Skirmish. It's now January, and there has been very minor updates to Skirmish since then. This list isn't in any order, but the things on this list are the bigger bugs that I think should be addressed before the team completely moves on from the game. The Gyro Token glitch is by far one of the most annoying glitches in Skirmish, and the one that's been around since the very beginning of Skirmish. Essentially, when you get a Gyro Token and try to activate it, your character goes into the animation and sometimes it just doesn't work. Now, what I've learned is that it actually doesn't work if you try to use it right away or if you wait more than 3 seconds to use it. I usually wait until the countdown timer shows up and passes a few seconds, and then it tends to work okay. But sometimes an enemy will shoot me, and when I try to activate it, again, it just doesn't work. Nonetheless, when you activate a Gyro Token, it should work at all times, just like the regular tokens do in Skirmish. This is something I think everyone wants to see fixed as soon as possible. The health of the AT-ATs definitely need a buff. At one point, you could play Walker Assault, attack the walkers as the rebels, and still lose. Now the rebels can sometimes destroy both walkers at the first uplink without your help. And I mean, you can play as the rebellion and not help your team at all attack the walkers, and they'll still do ridiculous amounts of damage to them. Prior, it was a bit more difficult to take down the walkers until the final uplink, in which, if you played as the rebellion and didn't attack the walkers, they would usually survive that long. What I noticed is that before the client patch that decreased the Star Destroyer's health in Battle Station, the AT-ATs were nice and tanky, but after they decreased the Star Destroyer's health, that may have affected the health of the walkers in Skirmish. This is incredibly frustrating because sometimes I want to live out my Star Wars fantasies in Skirmish, but it's difficult to do that when I'm playing as the rebels and my team takes down both the walkers at the first uplink. I definitely liked it before when the rebels did minimum damage to the walkers until the final uplink, where the walkers would just explode just before the final Y-Wing was being depleted. The rebels do too much damage to the walkers right now, and it needs to be fixed. Speaking of the walkers, in Twilight of Hoth, the walkers still move pretty fast, despite the recent update to the game. And this may be true for even online, but Twilight of Hoth is a map I'd like to spend more time on without the walkers practically sprinting to their destination. A bug that I've heard a lot of people mention was the AI's pathing in a few maps. For example, on Outpost Beta, the rebels will often get stuck in the corridors of the base, and the Imperials will get stuck in the back of the map after the first uplink. In Solus, the rebels don't even use some of the corridors, especially during the second uplink where you expect them to come from various areas and they don't. The second uplink is usually dead, with the Imperials still in the back of the map, as the rebel soldiers get repeated Y-Wings. It would be nice to have the pathing of the AI fixed in some of these areas, as it sucks when your team is chilling in a hallway while their base is being invaded by an army.
I am a Jedi like my father before me.
When Skirmish was first released, many of us from the Soloplayersmatter movement asked various questions to the people responsible for the special mode. When asked about how many bots would appear in both Fighter Squadron and Walker Assault, the answer that it would be a 20 versus 20 match. However, if we go to Fighter Squadron on normal and hard, we can see that that's not the case, as several bots from their spots are missing. Even in Walker Assault, it feels like a 9 versus 9 battle at all times. While some of the AI are in the sky piloting starfighters, that doesn't make up for the other 32 bots that should be fighting on the ground as infantry. I think the bots swap once one dies. Another one fills its spot as a different name, and this continues on. I have this theory because in Walker Assault, you can see every bot has participated in the fight due to their score, but while playing, you can tell there isn't 32 bots on the ground and 7 fighting in the sky. So a true 20 versus 20 Skirmish Walker Assault match would be nice. Now I don't think this is a glitch or bug, but I'm still scratching my head as to why we can't play as Luke's X-Wing and Vader's TIE Advanced in Skirmish. We can play as the ground heroes in Skirmish, or any offline mode that allows us to play as heroes, but for some reason we can't use the new starfighters. That seems more like a bug to me more than anything, but even if it's not, it's still going on this list in hopes DICE will see this video and fix it. So those are my top 5 bugs I believe should be addressed in Skirmish. Now I know there are plenty more, but these were the main ones that irked me the most. If I missed any, or if you think there are more that should be on this list, drop a comment down below with the glitches that frustrate you the most in Skirmish that you think the developers should address. If you enjoyed the video, please like the video and subscribe if you want to see content similar to this. Peace.